Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be why your silence strengthens you. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So your silence, it strengthens you. It also speaks volumes for you. It does things like put boundaries up for you and so many more things. When you were in the narcissistic relationship, you were being silenced by the narcissist. You lost your identity. You lost who you were. You became the unpaid helper, the walking apology, etc. And you could not have a voice. The only thing the narcissist wanted you to do was to listen to them and do what they wanted, when they wanted you to do it, and how they wanted you to do it. And if you had an opinion, or if you had a mindset, if you had knowledge and you shared it with them, they would either discount it or say they already knew about it or that someone else knew better, or they would not even listen to you. But in their tiny little pea brain, were they paying attention to you? Yes, they were. They were just ignoring you on purpose. This is what I call selective hearing. Example, when you were in that relationship, you could say something to the narcissist. Example, maybe their job was not the best job for them, and you say, hey, maybe you want to take this class and get educated and go do this job. Maybe this line of work is better for you. Well, they would look at you and they'd say, well, whatever. And then they would come back the next day or in a couple days and say, you know what, I think I'm going to change careers. I think I'm going to look into doing this. And you would be saying, great, I'm glad you took my idea to heart and you're going to start doing that. And they would say, what? You didn't tell me that. That was my coworker, so-and-so, that I have lunch with 5 days a week and that I'm spending a lot of time with right now, basically triangulating you with, but you'll never know about that. See, they won't give you credit. They wouldn't give you credit. They can't give you credit, and they never will. The reason all that is because the narcissist is toxic and they wanted you to be silenced when you were in that relationship. What they wanted to do was take the best of you, your time, energy, money, love, empathy, your resources. They wanted to take everything from you, in everything they could, including your health, if I didn't say that. They wanted to give you absolutely nothing but toxicity, which is why when you're in these relationships, it is an energetic exchange. It is the dark energy of the narcissist being dumped or administered into you, into your essence, your pores, your soul, your aura, everything about you, and your beautiful, bright, shining light is going into them. This is a true relationship when you are in it. There is dark on the planet and there is light on the planet. If you're an empath, you know what I'm talking about. The narcissist rocked your world. They took you on a roller coaster of emotions. They took you really high and they dropped you really low when you were in that relationship, but you didn't know what you were up against. You didn't know what it was because you weren't educated on this when you were younger. Now you're understanding what narcissism is, and you have been in a relationship with a toxic person, maybe even a narcissist, and now you're healing. Now you're focusing on yourself, or you are breaking the four tethers, the four ties that binded or bound you, which include the emotional tie, the financial tie, the physical tie, and the spiritual tie. These all must be broken in order to heal properly. But having said all those things, you were being silenced when you were in that relationship. Think about how many times you would text the narcissist. And this is when you were not in the love bomb / euphoric. This is when you were being devalued for days, weeks, months, maybe even decades on end. They would read your text and leave it on, they would not respond to you. And you get the two check marks, and they read it, but they wouldn't respond. Or maybe they would give you the letter K, or maybe they would just totally not read it at all. Or maybe they would just get back to you and say, hey, that's great, but what about A, B, and C? And they would give you an endless to-do list. You see, you couldn't ever be yourself when you're in that relationship. This is why you were walking on eggshells. You couldn't figure out which way your life was going, but what you knew is the direction it was going in was not the direction it had been going in before you met the narcissist. The narcissist used you as a fuel source. They used your supply and your beautiful, bright, shining light as an engine to catapult them from one leg of their life to the next leg, which is why each and every narcissistic relationship, they all end, they all expire. The narcissist burns out anybody that they encounter, which includes their family members, their children, their spouses, their neighbors, colleagues, coworkers, associates, people in communities, etc. And the narcissist knows what they're doing. If you think for a quick moment that they don't know what they're doing, think again. When they wake up in the morning, they do the exact same thing you do. They grab a shower and they put their clothes on the same way. And they drive the same cars and they breathe the same air. So they are making conscious decisions as to what to do, how to manipulate people, how to gaslight them, how to keep them stuck in the trauma bond, how to keep them stuck pining for them. This is an illusion that the narcissist portrays. They promise you the sun, the moon, and the stars. And they deliver absolutely nothing but despair, but misery, but doom and gloom, but shattered dreams, lost hopes, and broken futures and promises. That's why when you were in the relationship, you were being silenced. Now, post-relationship is what I'm referring to. Or maybe right now you're removing yourself from the narcissist, or maybe not too long ago, you finally went no contact, etc., or you're considering doing it. But when the tethers are broken or being broken, this is when your silence strengthens you. Because when you do not respond, when you do not react, when you do not give the narcissist or a toxic person any of your energy, I mean you give them nothing, zero, not even the time of day. When you do that, then that means that they don't matter to you any longer. It means you're healing, and it means you want nothing to do with them, and that's a good thing. You see, many of the things that the narcissist needs, one, they need to be needed. Two, they need people to believe in the mask. C, they need access to people. 4, or D, whatever letter or number I'm on, they need to have multiple sources of supply. And the next thing they need is they need you to always be available for them, which is why in virtually every video I've created over the years, I suggest strongly to go no contact, to block these people, delete them, remove them, and all flying monkeys and people associated with them. If you can't do that, I understand. Utilize gray rock, become dull and boring, don't overshare information, don't explain or defend yourself, drown them out of your emotions and your mindset, and understand that if you are not where you want to be, well, there is work to be done, and you will have to create, develop, and get ready to execute your exit plan. The exit plan is instrumental in each and every narcissistic relationship, whether you were discarded or you ended it yourself. Any way you cut it, you're going to have to put yourself back together, and you are going to have to get as far away from the narcissist as you possibly can while cutting those 4 ties. But post-relationship, your silence will strengthen you. Imagine, if you will, for a moment, that you wake up and you don't have to deal with your phone being blown up by texts. You don't have to hear the phone ring and know that it's them trying to disrupt your energy. You don't have to go to work realizing that they are trying to keep you stuck and trapped so you don't produce well at work. You don't have to, on the car ride home, going to when you were going back home to the narcissist, you don't have 15 stops that you have to do because the narcissist is too lazy and they want to spend your time and your money and your energy for you to go pick up the dry cleaning, for you to get the pet groomed, for you to pick up dinner, and for you to do anything else they want you to do. See, this is what you did for the narcissist. You did all of those things and many more. You provided utility for them. And again, when you were in the relationship, you were being silenced. You weren't being heard. You were looked at as an indentured servant. You were looked at as somebody who's supposed to do what they wanted you to do. And if you did it, you wouldn't get a thank you or appreciate that. You would be expected to do it. But if you didn't do it, there would be a big price tag to pay, or a big price to pay. That's when you would be triangulated, or that's when you would be given the silent treatment, etc. Now, I'm talking about post-relationship you. Yes, you, the person consuming the video. As I'm creating this video, maybe you're out of the relationship. Maybe it's the first video you're consuming. Maybe it's the 10,000th video. Who knows where you are on the journey? But what I will share with you is your silence strengthens you, because the less the narcissist knows about you, the better off you are. The less you know about the narcissist, the better off you are. The more the narcissist knows about you, the stronger they are, meaning the spell is still cast on you. And the more that you share with them, or they knew about you, or vice versa, the weaker you are. That's why you need to go no contact. That's why you need to have a small footprint. That's why you need to understand that these people do not change. They do not improve. They do not miraculously wake up one day and say, wow, I shouldn't have been doing all those things I did. I want to be a good person. That will never happen in their lifetime. You may say, why would that be, Andrew? I'll tell you why, because it would be too painful for them. They would have to acknowledge and recognize and admit that they were wrong, and admit that they destroyed people's lives, and admit that they were toxic. And it's not only those 3 things, there are many more, but on top of that, they would have to actually put energy into themselves and attempt to improve, which is something they will never do. Now, they can fake it. The narcissist can go mention to people they're seeing a therapist, or they're reading a book, or whatever they're doing, but they're not actually putting work into themselves. They're fooling the therapist. Are they reading the full book cover to cover? Absolutely not. They're probably watching a 3-minute video that someone surmised the book for them. In the old days, it would be called Cliff Notes. The narcissist isn't doing any work to improve their circumstances, or behaviors, I should say. They're doing work to manipulate more and more people to take whatever they want from those people. Again, it could be a beach home in Mexico. It could be a ski chalet in Vancouver. It could be a trip around the world. It could be a country club access. It could be clothes. It could be trips. It could be Amazon packages. Who knows what it is? But everybody provides some utility for the narcissist. Now you're understanding that. And that's why your silence strengthens you. Because when you don't have to hear about the narcissist, you don't know who they are with, what they're doing, or what life they're blowing up this time, because you flat out don't care. That's a good thing. When you block them and maintain no contact, that puts up a boundary. It sends a clear, succinct message to the toxic person or people that you want nothing to do with them any longer, because you've finally seen the light. You've cracked the code, you've found the needle in the haystack, and you're healing, or you've healed. You see, when you were in that relationship, it wasn't just the narcissist trying to destroy or blow up your life. It was the enablers. It was the flying monkeys. It was the other toxic people who you didn't even identify yet. It was their in-laws. It was everybody that was drinking the Kool-Aid of the narcissist, because those people were following the Pied Piper into Destructionsville. They were like a bunch of little rats or mice following that Pied Piper down the path, down the road, and you were being led to you know where. But guess what? You made it. You're out of the relationship. You're healing, or you've healed, and you are putting yourself back together, which is why once you realize what these relationships are, you need to get away from them as far and as fast as you possibly can, because the narcissist will keep on swinging at you as long as that door is left open just a crack. And if it is kept open a crack, and it shouldn't be, but if it is, eventually the narcissist perhaps will try to swing it wide open, and you could go backwards again and again and again. And guess what? You're going to have to start healing all over again. And this time it may, I'm not saying it will, but it may actually be more challenging. That's why don't take a risk. Don't take a chance. Don't be peeking at their social media. Don't be driving by their houses. Don't be making bogus phantom accounts and looking at their social media. Don't care about what these parasites are doing. Now, it may sound easy for me to say that because I'm out and I've healed. But guess what? I once was where you were or are. I know what it's like to have sleepless nights. I know what it's like to ruminate. I know what it's like to realize that a portion of your life has just been blown up. Maybe it was a day, a week, a month, a year, a decade. Maybe your parents were the narcissists and you're just figuring out right now. The point is, when you got the message and when you figured out what narcissism was, that is when you were supposed to figure it out. So be kind and patient with yourself. Don't question yourself and say, wow, if only I knew this 10, 20, 30 years ago, I could have done such a different thing. Well, I understand that so many people feel that way, but that's not reality. Reality is here in the present moment. That's why you're getting the wisdom. So there's a famous adage that I've said on my videos throughout the years. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And that was absolutely evident with me also. You see, I was supposed to figure it out when I did. But nobody knocked on my door and said, hey, check this out, Andrew, read this. This is what you were in. Not one person did, because they were all drinking the Kool-Aid, or a lot of them were. They were definitely enablers, and they were fly monkeys, and I don't care about any of those people any longer. God bless them, just stay away from me. That's what you should say. That's what I say. Because nobody knocked on your door to check in on you. Nobody spent time with you to hear your side of any story, and nobody ever will. And that's when the healing path post-relationship, when you're isolated because the narcissist has discarded you or you removed yourself, that's a very challenging period of time. But once you realize that this is your journey, it's your life, and you will have to put yourself back together, and your silence strengthens you, that's when you get another light bulb moment. That's when you realize, wow, I do have all the power. All that energy and all my time and resources, they were going into a bottomless pit. They were going into an empty shell, which is the narcissist. And they were trying to take anything from me that they could. And they accomplished that for a period of time, which was the length of that relationship, but they can no longer do it. Because now my hope is you are divorced, or you don't live with them, meaning they were your roommate, or the custody is over, you have full custody, your kids have grown up, or you can start a new business, or you've blocked them, etc. Whatever you've done to remove these people from your life, that's a good thing. Keep them out of your life and have and build and maintain boundaries. And learn how to say no, the strongest word in the English language. Remember, when you say no to something or someone, you are saying yes to yourself. And that's what the narcissist didn't want to hear. They didn't want to hear the strongest word in the English language, which was no, because they can't handle it, because these people are petulant children in their tiny little pea brains. They just keep staying stuck in that loop of misery, stuck in that loop of manipulation, and stuck blaming other people for their own shortcomings. And the list of the narcissist's shortcomings, That list would take more sheets of paper that could be created on the history of the planet, because the narcissist doesn't have even 1% of its introspection within them. There's no accountability, and they don't care about anybody but themselves. This is why you really must understand that this is your life, and you need to take it very seriously, and you need to close that door on the narcissist, and you need to super glue it airtight so they can't creep back into your life. And there will be casualties of the relationship. Maybe your children, maybe your stepchildren, maybe ex-in-laws, maybe friends, maybe hobbies, maybe music, maybe locations or restaurants, maybe your job. Who knows? The casualties of the narcissistic relationship are sprinkled and littered all throughout it. And you will be picking up the pieces of these casualties post-relationship until you don't have to pick them up any longer. It's the same thing I had to do. That's why you have to wrap your head around A, what narcissism is, B, that this person never loved you or cared about you, C, they can't change, D, they're doing it with somebody else, and E, they're stuck in that loop. And that loop will continue to go around and around, and they are the one constant, the one common denominator. It's not you, it's them. Now, having said all those things, why your silence strengthens you, it's as I shared earlier, I'll say it a different way. When you don't know about the narcissist, where they are, who they're with, or what they're doing, and you don't care, it's a great thing. Flip it. When they don't know where you are, who you're with, or what you're doing, that's an even better thing. That is called no contact. That's called indifference. That's called not giving a you-know-what about a toxic person who tried to destroy you and your life. When you reach that mountaintop, that pinnacle of indifference, then you realize, wow, I am grateful to be out of that relationship. I'm fortunate. It was a fight for my life. It was a struggle for my soul. It was a test of a lifetime, but I passed, I'm out, and I'm healed, or I'm healing. That's when you realize, wow, I want nothing to do with negativity. I don't want to be around toxicity. I don't give anybody any more than one chance any longer. If I want to spend time with somebody, I must realize that that person must be healthy, stable, and that must be a two-way relationship, whether it's romantic, friendship, colleague, acquaintance, whatever it is. But at the whiff of toxicity or the hint of manipulation, I'm gone, I'm out. And no, I won't explain. No, I won't defend. No, I won't throw anybody under the bus, but no, I will not tolerate that behavior. That's why your silence strengthens you. So think about this, and I will get ready to close the video. Post-relationship, when you were in that cocoon of boundaries, maybe you're still there. That was a very challenging period of your life. It was a very challenging period of my life. But in that cocoon of boundaries, that's when you had to put yourself back together. That's when you didn't want to get out of bed sometimes. You didn't want to go to work. You weren't eating, or maybe you were eating a little too much. You were journaling, meditating, watching videos, writing, healing childhood wounds, maybe seeing a therapist, but you had a very small footprint. And that small footprint was meant to insulate and protect yourself. Once you're out of that cocoon of boundaries, and only you will know when you want to leave it or exit it, that's when you will re-enter the world, but you will re-enter the world a beautiful, bright, shining light, because that cocoon, just like a larva in a cocoon, when it exits the cocoon, it becomes a butterfly and it flies. That's you, that's me, that's what you will do or you have done. And you need to realize the narcissist never wanted your wings to ever see the light of day. They wanted to keep you stuck in that low vibrational state with them, but they failed, and they failed miserably with you. But there are other people, however, I should say, that they kept stuck in that dungeon of horrors. That's not you. That's why you're here getting your cup full, and you realize that your silence does strengthen you. So again, this is what you want to do post-relationship, once you're healing, once you've wrapped your head around what narcissism is, etc. You want to go no contact. You want to remove anybody who is one, maybe even 2 or 3 steps away from the narcissist. You want to trust your instincts and intuition. You want to pay attention to red flags. You want to journal, meditate, all the things I shared earlier. You need to have that small footprint, and then you need to realize that you're going to have to put yourself back together. And above all, you will have to be kind and patient with yourself. You will have to be silent, stoic, determined, have direction and purpose, and realize that one day you will wake up and you will feel the best you've ever felt, and the narcissist won't cross your mind. You won't care where they are, what they're doing, who they're with. You won't be ruminating. You will be out of the cocoon of boundaries, and this is when you can take a class, teach a class, read a book, write a book, travel the world, fall in love again, create a business. You can do whatever you want to do, but this is on your time, not on a toxic, parasitical creature's time, because the narcissist is becoming smaller and smaller in your rear view mirror. Leave them back there. You are moving forward, ascending higher than the sun, the moon, and the stars. The narcissist is that pitch blackness that is in your rear view mirror, which is getting smaller and smaller as each and every moment passes by. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that. You are not alone. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. And this is a new location. I hope you like it. I hope it's not as loud as some of the other locations are. I'm doing the best I can to find new locations. And understand something, your silence is strengthening. Why your silence strengthens you? It's because when you are silent, you understand that you don't have to say things, because anybody, and not exclusive to the narcissist, anybody, because they text you, doesn't mean you have to respond. Because someone sends you an email, it doesn't mean you have to answer it. Because someone calls you, it doesn't mean you have to call them back. Because someone says something negative doesn't mean you have to put on a fake smile and laugh and think it's funny. It's not funny. Toxicity is all over the planet. You now were in the narcissistic relationship. There is no tolerance for toxicity, for poor taste, for poor jokes, for laughing at someone else's expenses. We don't do that. We never did it in the past. We don't do it now, but now we understand how humanity can be. And there are many people, and I mean many, who want to destroy other people's lives, directly or indirectly. And at the top of that list is the narcissist. That's why your silence strengthens you, because you do not have to tell people what you're thinking. You don't have to tell them what classes you're taking. You don't have to tell them where you are going for lunch. You don't have to tell them what you're doing on your free time. You don't have to tell anybody anything. And people will continue to try to take your energy. And I'm not referring to the narcissist, I'm referring to other people. They will still want you to do whatever they want you to do, because they probably want to be in your company, your presence. And if it feels comfortable to join them and participate, you do it. If it doesn't, you don't. And you simply can decline the offer and say, thank you, but I'm occupied that day, I can't do it. And then that's it. There's no longer feeling guilty, feeling bad, feeling sorry that you can't make it, because you have to unpack all those behaviors that you learned when you were younger. They don't apply in this day and age. What applies in this day and age is your peace, your mindset, your harmony, your purpose, your path, and your focus, which all start and end with you. That's why you are the priority. You come first, second, and third. There's no longer room in your life for toxicity or for doing things out of guilt or obligation or feeling shamed. No, that's not, we don't do those any longer. Remember, you were in that relationship with the narcissist that almost took you down for the count. It didn't, you're out. You need to be grateful and fortunate. Take a deep breath in and say, wow, I cannot believe I got out of that thing in one piece, and I'm stronger than ever imagined. And all these videos that Andrew creates are spot on, because they are, and I'm living it, and now you're living it. This is why you really need to be grateful and fortunate and focus on what you can control, live your best life, and live your life toxic free. I love y'all. God bless you. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.